Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I'm here with my April reading plans. As you guys have probably already heard, the Magical Readathon will be going again in April, the Owl's Magical Readathon, created by G over at Book Roast. She has a wonderful announcement video that I will link down below. She's also doing Wizard Careers this time, so there's a lot to look forward to. And then in addition, I also am going to be participating in, I think it's the Unicorn Readathon? It's called something like that. That is hosted by Roya over at Unicorn Hunter Books, and it's basically just about reading books with magical creatures in them. And again, I will put that information in the description as well. And last but not least, my birthday is actually in April, and so I have some books that I'm just like really excited to get to. My friend Taylor from Page Screen Taylor, her birthday just happened recently, and she did kind of a TBR about like books that she's expecting to love, and I'm like, what a great way to celebrate your birth month, just by reading things that you're incredibly excited for, which, you know, should be all the books we read, but let's be honest, sometimes it's not. Also, you guys seem to really like the kind of chatty, sort of casual reading plans video I did last time, and I really enjoyed that too. So this time I'm going to try and do something sort of like that. I am still going to mention the challenges because there are so many, but I'm going to try and keep it more casual. We'll see how this works out. And as far as the wizarding careers, I have no idea what I'm going to go for, so I think I'm just gonna read the books for whatever challenges I feel like, and then when the newts happen, I'll just figure it out from there, depending on what I passed, like Harry and Ron before me. The first challenge is Ancient Runes, and that is to read a retelling, and I will be reading Sherwood by Megan Spooner. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and it's about how Maid Marian decides that after Robin Hood is killed, she's going to kind of take on his mantle and I think like pose as him and kind of continue doing his work. And I am really excited about this. Hunted by this author is one of my favorite standalone fantasy books ever, and I hope that this one lives up to that. I'm scared, but again, expecting to enjoy this. Pretty much all the books I have on this list I'm like equally excited for because of the whole like wanting to read books I actually expect to enjoy. What a concept. But there are going to be a couple where it's like I just could not think of something for the challenge, so we'll see. Next is Arithmancy, and that is to read a book that has more than one author, I think, or that's by two authors. And I will be reading a graphic novel, and that is Sleepless Volume 1. This is by Sarah Vaughan, Lila Del Duca, Alyssa Salah, and Darren Bennett. And this was actually a Christmas present from my lovely friend Amy from Book Girl Abroad, not Blonde and Bookish anymore. I keep wanting to pick this up, and it's finally gonna happen. The art style just looks gorgeous, and I don't know too much about what it's about, except that I believe this guy is a sleepless, and I think he's the guard for her, and she is a princess or a court lady or something. I just think this is going to be really wonderful. Even the art on the back is just stunning, so really looking forward to this. The next prompt is Astronomy, and that is to read a book that has star in the title, Starry River of the Sky by Grace Lynn, and this is perfect because I have been wanting to read one of her books for so long. They just sound like they're going to be the most beautiful middle grade fantasy story. And also another thing I love is that there are these beautiful like chapter headers that are really bright, and there are occasionally full page illustrations, which I just think are magnificent. I do remember reading somewhere that these books are sort of like loosely companion sequels, and this is actually the second one that she published. So if you guys have read any of Grace Lynn's books, could you let me know in the comments if I do need to read these in order, or if I would appreciate it more if I read them in order. I really don't know that much about what the story is, but I remember reading the back and it sounding delightful and charming and beautiful and probably going to be pretty emotional too, so I'm excited for it. For Care of Magical Creatures, we have to read a book that has a land animal on the cover, and I will be reading The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. This was actually a birthday present for this year from my lovely friend Priscilla over at Bookie Charm. Yes, I already opened it because I have no self-control. It's fine. But I've been wanting to read this for so long, and I was so excited when she gave it to me. The illustrations are just beautiful, like so bright. I think the story just sounds wonderful as well. You can see that there's a little dragon, and I know he does have wings, so in case the dragon doesn't count, I'm going to count these like fawn or satyr creatures. But these are just about like little dragons that have tea leaves growing on their backs, and then people make tea with them, and they have different properties, and it just sounds like the most adorable, precious, charming thing, and I've been wanting to read this as kind of a mood pick-me-up for a while, so it's gonna happen. Oh, and this will definitely be counting for the Unicorn Readathon. I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it, but the one about magical creatures, this is definitely going to count for that. Next is Charms, and that is to read an adult book, and I might end up switching this out for something else, because this book is not actually something I'm super excited for. It's something I feel like I should read because it was on my second round of 5-star TBR predictions, and I still haven't read it. But that is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, and another reason this is on here is because it would also count for Tome Topple, which is also happening during the month. And I've heard amazing things about this, and I've read a few like pages or excerpts from it, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. But a friend of mine, actually Giselle, she recently read this one and really didn't like it, so I'm kind of nervous now, and it's a huge book, so if I don't like it, not really looking forward to pushing myself through this whole thing, so I might swap this out for something else. And then the hardest prompt of them all was Defense Against the Dark Arts, which was to just find a book that has a title that starts with R. I don't know why it's so hard to find those, or why it's so hard to find ones that I haven't read that I own, because I have read a couple in the last month, of course, that would have counted. But I have a couple of options here, and I'm really excited about both of them. The first one is The Rose Legacy by Jessica Day George. This is the first book in a new series by her, and I love Jessica Day George. She's one of those very like cozy comfort food type of authors for me, which sounds perfect during my birthday month. Sorry, I apologize in advance. I'm one of those very annoying people who gets extremely excited about their birthday, so sorry. But I don't even know too much about what this one is about. I just know that even when her books aren't my favorites, I always really enjoy reading them. So looking forward to this. I'm sure it's going to be magical and beautiful, and her books also tend to have really wonderful sister relationships and female friendships. I don't know if that's going to feature in this one, but I would think it would, which I'm always excited for. And then my other option is sort of a cheat, but I've been wanting to read this again for a very long time, and that is Brazen, Rebel Ladies Who Rocked the World by Penelope Baggio. And this subtitle starts with R, so it's technically not the first word in the title, but I might end up counting this anyway because I just have been wanting to pick this up for so long. This was actually a Christmas present from my lovely friend Trisha from Tell Her a Story. I'm just reading a lot of like gifted books this month. I'm really excited about it. And the illustration style is gorgeous. This is a nonfiction book about different amazing women from history. And there's also these full color, like multi-page pictures after each of them, which are just gorgeous, and this seems like everything I would love, so I am really looking forward to getting to it, like I said, even though maybe it bends the rules a little bit. Divination is to read a book that takes place in the future, and I will be finishing a series, I know, who am I, and that is Binti, The Night Masquerade by Nadia Okorafor. This is the third and final book in the Binti novella trilogy, and I don't want to know what this one is about because I'm actually still not done with the second book yet, but I will be done with that, I think, before the next month starts, and I've just really been enjoying this series so far. Herbology is to read a book that has a plant on the cover, and this is another one I have a couple of options for, depending on what I'm in the mood to read. The first one is one of the prettiest covers I think I've ever seen, and that is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. Like, just look at that. Just appreciate this beauty, and then on the back too, I just love it. Like, this whole color palette and just the design, everything about this is just like aesthetic goals, and I love it. I don't know much about this except that it's about three sisters who I think are cursed, and there's like these magical objects they have to find, and I've heard that this has just really, really amazing bonds between the sisters. Like, it's got great sibling relationships, and that's something I always enjoy. As you can see, there are trees and things growing on the cover, so I might pick up this. And then the other option is actually a reread, and that is again kind of like the cozy comfort food type of route, and that is A Wind in the Door by Madeleine L'Engle. This is the second book in the Wrinkle in Time series, and I had started rereading it last year. I read the first book for the first time in a long time, and I really enjoyed it. And then I just like never picked up the second one, and it's been like 8 months at this point, and I don't know why I haven't started it. But again, there are like trees and like leaves and grass on the front, and this is the book in the series, or of the 4 books that I've read, that I remember the least about, and that I think I've read the fewest number of times as well. History of Magic is to read a book that is, I think, at least 10 years old. I'm pretty sure that's what the prompt was. And shout out to Becca from My Dreams of Reading for actually pointing out that this book is over 10 years old, which blows my mind a little bit. But that is The Opal Deception by Owen Colfer. This is the 4th Artemis Fowl book, and we of course are still doing our Artemis Fowl read-along. I will link our most recent live show down below if I remember to do that. But yeah, I really enjoy this one. I don't remember where it ranks in my favorites in the series, but I am excited about this. You guys know I love this series. I can pretty much stop saying that every time I bring it up. Muggle Studies is to read a contemporary, and that one is another new release that I am really excited for, and that is Night Music by Jen Marie Thorne. The book features an interracial romance, and I know that it's about music and the music industry, and one of the reasons, I think one of the obstacles in these two characters ending up together is that Oscar, the black character, is worried how it's going to look if he falls in love with the white daughter of his, I think it's his benefactor, or like his teacher or his professor or something. Like, there's some kind of professional relationship between him and this girl's family, and he doesn't want it to look bad. He feels like this pressure about how it's going to appear if he like makes a move on this girl, basically. And I've read one other contemporary by Jen Marie Thorne, and I think she handled the social issues in that really well and really sensitively, so I have high hopes for this one as well. The potions challenge is to read the next book in a series, and she called it the next ingredient, which I think is really cute. And for that one, I'm going to be actually catching up with a series because I'm turning over a new leaf, and no pun intended looking at this cover, but that is Transformed: The Perils of the Frog Prince by Megan Morrison. This is the third book in the Time series. I read Disenchanted last month and absolutely adored it. I loved it even more than the Rapunzel book. I love this series so much. I hope she writes many more books in this series. I'm really sad that if there are more books, it's probably going to be a while to wait in between them because this just came out, but I'm so excited about this. I absolutely love Megan Morrison's writing and characters and the really heavy issues she handles in these books, but still with a lot of heart and hope and humor, and I'm so in awe of her as an author. And finally, Transfiguration is to read a book that has sprayed edges, or I think that has red on the cover, I think. I don't have that many books with sprayed edges, but one of them I do have is Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, and see, purple edges. This is another one that it's like, I don't really feel like reading right now, so I might pick up something else because I have heard some weird things about the romantic relationship in this book that make me a little uneasy. It could go either way with this one, but this is on my like retellings I want to read for the retelling bingo challenge that I'm doing this year. I don't know. We'll see if it happens. If not, I just get to pick a book I want to read that has red on the covers. Okay, everybody, so that was my rambly kind of reading plan chat for April. Again, I'm excited for all of these books, except for the ones I mentioned that I am not actually looking forward to. So expect this to change. Expect this TBR to change a little bit as I find books that I'm actually excited about, because I should do that more often, and it's made me realize, like, the fact that I'm theming this month around books I'm actively excited to get to, it's made me realize how often I pick up a book because I think I should, instead of, like, thinking I'm gonna enjoy it at that moment. Like, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens more than it should, I think. Let me know if you guys are participating in any or all of these readathons, what you are going to be reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!